All right.
Okay. You guys look amazing. Tanya, you look like the picture that we put up. You're like in the white suit and everything. This is awesome.
I was laughing. I was like, Bailey, you have to hook us up. So she got us some red glasses. So I was like, oh, these are like cool.
Jeremy, who do you remind me of right now? I feel like, the Muppets.
I wouldn't have gone with them. I'm thinking like a young Bob Dylan or something, and you go with the Muppets.
No, there's that guy. He's like my favorite Muppet of all time. He's like jazzy, and he's the
hornblower. Hey, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people on this call that have no idea what a Muppet is right now.
I'm so sorry.
There's a lot of millennials on this. They're going, "What is she talking about? What's a Muppet?"
Well, I barely knew what they were. I was a baby too.
I was laughing. We were taking pictures outside, and I was doing the peace sign, and Bailey, who's 21, is like, "No, Mom, you have to do the rocking." And I'm like trying to get I'm like, "Oh."
Yes.
Well, I'm sporting my GNR shirt.
Yeah, I'm Def Leppard. I'm all like, this is like all cut out.
And I bought that for her.
David done that for me. It's something I totally would have picked out myself. Okay.
So welcome. Here we go. We have Tanya and Jeremy Kirkpatrick. They are 12-star platinum, 11-star crystal executives. They are millionaires with Isogenics. But more importantly, they're amazing human beings, and they are excellent teachers.
And great friends of ours.
And great friends.
And they're beautiful children. And Bailey, one of our favorite people on the planet, who takes care of our girls in a pinch. Like every time we're in a pinch, somehow Bailey is available. She's like Superwoman.
So you guys, this is the second part of our series. Last week we had You Share with president, co-founder, Kathy Coover. And she just rocked it. And now we go to They Share. So let's jump right into this, guys. Probably the most asked question that we get from our downline and just associates in general, and I know you get it too, the one everyone's dying to know is, how do you get people to share? How do you get them from associate to consultant?
I love this question because I'm super passionate about it. I feel that everybody deserves to have the opportunity both physically and financially. And before I meet with someone, I already have in my mind that this is such an epic gift to share with them. And I marry the two of them together. So just being able to say, for instance, if I meet someone at a coffee shop and I sit down with them, I listen to their goals and I'm taking notes vigorously. Just I want to be able to take everything down, and I say to them, hey, I want to best support you in helping you get set up for best success. And so in doing so, would it be okay if I took some notes? I also ask them 3 enrolling questions. I think it's really important to meet people right where they are always. And we don't talk about it as a business. We talk about it as something that we normally do. So I'll say to them, hey, are you noticing more and more that there are
Tanya, can you get closer to the mic? I'm so sorry.
Having a hard time hearing? I'm so sorry.
There's like 30 comments like can't hear her. So I hate interrupting. That's horrible, but I want to make sure.
Fine. We've got Jeremy's computer on here. Can you hear us better?
I can hear you. I'm not sure what, maybe on their end why it's
headphones.
Maybe they can tell us, and they said maybe headphones. Someone says fine here.
Yeah, they can hear fine.
Okay, just go ahead because perhaps it's just just proximity wherever they are.
Okay. All right. Okay. Are we back on? Okay. Okay, so 3 enrolling questions. So I got really fired up and I'm saying to them, are you noticing more and more people are asking and looking, they're taking supplements on the market? Are you noticing that people are really looking for solutions, not only for their health, but looking at long-term for their finances, for retirement? Retirement's a really big deal. Plan B. Casting out that vision is really important for us. And then asking, would it be of value if I could show you a way that is going to meet the needs and demands of your day? So finding more time, being able to really look at making healthy options on the go. And these can be like changed up. So it can be, are you noticing more people are, you go out to eat and you're seeing an obesity epidemic or a health epidemic? People are going to be like, yeah, I totally. If I could add more value to your day and make a flawless meal within minutes, would that be of value to you? Yes, absolutely. For young moms, if I'm meeting with a mom and I'm like, listen, when do you actually get to have good nutrition in your body? Is it like by 10 or 11? Are you grabbing macaroni and cheese with the kid? Would it be of value for me to show you how in 30 to 60 seconds to rock out a nutritious meal. And you really start casting that vision. So yeah, that's kind of how we start up the meeting and really being able to share both marrying the physical freedom and the financial freedom together and serve it up on a silver platter. And they're none the wiser. It's just being able to really ask those annoying questions.
Yeah, because the second thing is, and you've already kind of touched on this, I noticed the verbiage is big with you, how you present it, not just how you take them there, but the verbiage that you use, because we know that most people will say, first thing is, I don't want to sell anything. Angelique included. When Lori Harder enrolled Angelique said, I'll do the products, but I don't want to sell anything. So that's where, guys, the verbiage maybe that you use is important. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I think it is really important. I like to share, would it be of value? I always say, if I could show you a way, I think that's really important too. I really love being able to ask a lot of questions and take it back and then regurgitate that back out to them. You want to add on to that?
I had the pleasure of watching this for about 18 months before I came in and sat next to her. So I kind of learned just listening to her talk. And when I started attending the meetings, one of the big things that she puts out there is, we know the products work. We know in a couple weeks how you're going to feel. And we know people are going to start asking you. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. And so she likes to put it out there and goes, you have two choices at that point. Refer them back to me and I'll take care of your friends and family like they were my friends and family. Or I can show you how to get your products paid for. We've had a few people refer people over, but only once. And then they decide, you know what, I want to get my products paid for. So she's brilliant at casting that vision and just letting them know, look, this is what's going to happen. These products are backed by science. We know they work. It's worked for thousands of our friends and family. We've seen it over and over again. We know it's going to work for you as long as you follow the system. And this is what's going to happen in 14 days. So she's brilliant at casting that vision.
So something I'm seeing here, and I'm going to marry what happened is, so Kathy last week talking about you share, and now you guys talking about they share. There's a couple similarities. It's posture, which Jeremy just said, your posture, your confidence, and then questions. It's asking more questions at first. So those two things, whether it's you sharing initially or them getting them to buy into the part where they decide to share, that's the same thing. And I love that part. And then the third component really is whether you want to refer them back to me or take them yourself, and I can show you how to do this. So you're giving them the options. That's beautiful. It's simple, and it falls exactly in line with how you got them there in the first place. I love it.
Well, I think that when you're sitting with someone, being that catalyst with that energy when you have that outlook on it. I love the movie Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise.
Wow.
And he's like with Nicole Kidman, and he's talking about two race cars, and he was using the sugar packets. There's a lead car, and there's cars behind the lead car. And the lead car is so fast. It's just knowing exactly the grooves in the road, that the cars behind it, it's pulling them, the kinetic energy. It's allowing them to save fuel. And when this car starts to kind of come around and it starts getting its bearings, it has a tendency to rub onto the other car. It's friction. And they have a quote in the movie I love to coach on is Revan's Racing. And when you are helping get someone set up, I don't care who you are. If I'm asking for that referral at the very beginning, we miss out on so many opportunities to ask for referrals. I'll say to them, hey, and when you're feeling like $1 million and you're a walking billboard, because you will be, I want you to understand that your friends are going to ask you. And so the choice is yours. I will take the best care of them. You can get free premium groceries by helping get them set up for success. Or, this is my passion. I love people. It fires me up to know that moms are coming home, dads are going to work, and they're sharp with what they're talking about at work. We had an engineer who was like, you don't understand, I was going out for a job interview and I nailed it because I had clarity of mind. I'm like, that drives me. So I think that knowing that healthy little friction a little bit, you can be the lead car, but you pray for the other ones to really have that rub and then move out into their lead. That is what we pray for in this opportunity.
Awesome.
I want a president's pack right now.
Awesome.
It's called a value pack.
Oh, value pack, sorry.
I love that, because honestly, and for those of you that are watching and you are telling people, hey, look, if we will treat them like your family when that time comes, because that time will come. We will treat them like your family if this is still not something you're interested in. But what I find is when they do come and say, say, hey, I have somebody. I put it on the table one more time and say, we spoke about this before you had this experience. You had initially committed to just referring these people to me. Now I'm happy to take them once again, and take them and treat them like family. However, I'm going to make this offer to you one more time. Are you sure that you would rather trade a coupon or a bonus to me yourself based off of the initial commitment that you had? Essentially, are you sure that you do not want these generous referral bonuses? Are you sure that you do not want to be the one to share? So give them the opt-in once, twice, 3 times you're out, right? So at that point, most of the time they usually have more people coming back if they've actually referred it to you. It's never really happened, like Jeremy, like one time. We've not.
Yeah.
We really put out to the team for June. We were like, June, boom. Are you asking for the referrals? And we'll talk a little bit about how we are guiding them and really helping cast the vision and providing opportunities for them to go into it. But calling up your friends and family that are yet to say yes to their Freedom Wholesale account with Isagenix and saying to them, hey, would you be open to hosting a healthy happy hour, a Savor Sip? I've got a great gift card for you. You can send back some referral to them, whatever that looks like, and doing massive bookings, a Book Me June incentive for your friends and family who've yet to say yes, and then you can give them the opportunity. Look, you can earn all of this for all your friends and family who are getting ready to get started, or I would love to help them. But this is how simple it is. But we get paid to like share grocery. Like, it's so cool.
You just used another verbiage that I want you to repeat. You said Freedom what? Wholesale account, right?
Freedom Wholesale account, because I believe that an Isagenix account is physical freedom and financial freedom. It is overall freedom to live your life the way that, whatever way you like. I mean, like, God has given us so many opportunities with this, and I love it. It's all encompassing. It is a Freedom Wholesale account. You get to do what you want with it. You can pay it forward, bless people around you. To get our friends and family, our parents started on this. Oh my mom just had surgery, and this has been such a gift. She doesn't have to get up in the kitchen and make this crazy dinner. It's really like premium food at your fingertips in 30 to 60 seconds. It's awesome.
And just to follow up a real quick question. So this conversation that happens, the they share conversation, when does it occur exactly?
The same time that I am sharing the physical freedom, I'm already forward vision casting. One of the things I love to talk about, and you guys heard me talk about it at Jill's, is we have this carpet cleaner. He smelled amazing. He was super professional. He cleaned our carpets like the bomb. And he was talking to my sister one day. He's like, listen, your sister has referred me over $80,000 worth of business in 1 year. And I was like, wow, I told that many people. That's so awesome, because he did such great work. We already naturally talk about things that we love. And just for the record, I did not get a free carpet cleaning. And so I just have that conversation, like, what product and services have you shared in the last 30 days because you love them? I do something on our Facebook that's Tanya's favorite things, because I'm continually talking about things and products that work, services that work, and that we're so passionate about. And it's been really great. So you're planting that seed. We talk about it at Health and Wellness events. We just had 62 people at our house last night, and that's how we opened the room. So we're already planting the little seeds of, we naturally do it anyway. Why wouldn't you want to help other people be compensated for things that we're going to talk about anyway? When you're like I was telling them last night, a golden ticket, if you could find a golden ticket to never feel stuck in the skin you're in, to live in a healthy body, to make the most out of your life, what would that be worth to you? And people really, it's attractive, because I have yet to meet one person that's like, I don't want a rockin' hard body. That's cool. I want to have kids and be chubby for the rest of my life. Or I want to be into my 80s and not be able to swing a golf club. I want to be in my 80s, and I want to be in a pink fluffy coat and rocking out just fun, just being able to be a fun grandma and be feeling good in my skin and healthy and glowing. Isagenix has some of those beautiful people around. Are you kidding me? Who doesn't want that?
So when you have somebody, for instance, this is not even on the questions that we talked about, but I'm ad-libbing because it comes up. But what are the first steps when you do have someone that says, okay, I feel amazing, I feel better in my skin than I ever have, I'm rocking out my pink fur coat, right? That they're doing, I'm swinging golf clubs at 80, but I don't know what to say or what to do next. And so this is where I think people get the most tripped up, because they're so excited and it comes so easily for people that have been sharing for a long time, like you, Tanya, but they get tripped up. So what are the steps that you give them to share effectively and easily with simplicity and duplication?
I love sharing, first of all, other people's stories. But when we very first started, I didn't have the physical transformation yet. All I knew is I slept through the night and I felt so good. I felt I had a new lease on life. I borrowed other transformation stories. I borrowed other financial freedom stories. And we do this on a regular basis by really providing that with a healthy happy hour or a sip and savor. So we build to the next event. For instance, I met a gal the other day on Facebook. She had been following for the journey, reached out, and I said, I have 3 options for you. We can get on the phone and I can help. And I forward speak, though someone has already said yes. I don't say if you open a account with Isogenics. I say, hey, when we get you set up with your Freedom Wholesale account for Isogenics, we can connect and do this 3 different ways. I can meet you or I can do it over the phone. We can do it face-to-face in Zoom, meet for coffee, or guess what? We live literally a half a mile from corporate. Are you local? Because every Friday there's a tour, and I want to show you what you're truly a part of, because this company is so much more than shakes and cleanse. We'll help you get your sexy back, but we're also going to help you plan for a plan B. And she was like, I want to come to the tour. So I met her on Friday. So people love options. Give them an opportunity. We are so a society that does everything virtual. My heartbeat is belly to belly. If I can have the heartbeat, that belly to belly conversation, I can guarantee you the closure of really being able to say, yep, open to Freedom Wholesale account is about 95%. That is a great statistic. So asking, again, those questions, meeting people right where they are. When you go grocery shopping at the grocery store, they don't have one bottle of salad dressing. They have several. We like to ask for options and meeting people, and I'll say, give me 3 times that fast work in your day. A lot of times we use a brand new movie that you guys are a part of. We used it last night at our Sip and Savor. It's real people doing real life, and I love sending that out. I also use ISA sales tools to do that. We use our product page to add people into Edify that. Anytime you can bring other people a part of the conversation in a 3-way call. If you've got someone, my story, I didn't lose 100 pounds. Jeremy didn't lose 100 pounds. So I'm going to find someone who I can pop on a call and say, hey, could you share a little bit about your story and your weight loss journey for losing 100 pounds? So we don't have to know everything. I started knowing 0. I was really good at finding people to help and edify the opportunity and move forward. So if you're just starting out, it is how bad do you want it? And how much are you willing to have that servant's heart to go out and serve people? It's not about your agenda. It's about really showing what we're a part of, because it is a gift.
So people are asking the movie that you sent out, and it's Transform Your Life, guys. It's in isamovie.com under weight loss, the weight loss category. So hopefully you can hear me now. They were saying they couldn't hear me. So I don't know what's going on with the audio. Audio is weird tonight. It's very glitchy. David says I'm a soft talker. Apparently I'm now part of a Seinfeld episode. But again, so you have a lot of people locally here, Tanya, but you use social media a lot. So how would you help someone share their story on social media?
So I mean, when someone gets started, we walk them through what a power post looks like. And I'll never forget, even I went to White House Black Market and I had my pair of 8-10 size shorts. And as I was kind of losing, I put my size 6 shorts up there. Then I put my size 4, and then I had my size 2. You guys have pictures worth 1,000 words. And I think my post was really simple as, this is something I have prayed for, I have dreamed for, and I finally found it. If I could pay this forward, please let me know, because this is something that I think everybody is continually searching for. We're looking for healthier options. And so that, just really coaching them through what does that look like and giving them some visuals. And I got crickets. I want you guys to understand, when I started Isogenics, I think I had about 350 friends. Very intentional on purpose and connecting. I do not friend other people on Isogenics. So I apologize if you guys can hit follow, but we are still so fired up, excited about sharing this. It's something I love Jim Coover, because he said, I'll retire when I expire. And that's me in a nutshell, right? I'm like, Jim, when are you going to retire? He's like, Tanya, I'll retire when I expire. And That's definitely who we are. We love this. It's such a huge family. So I would say really giving them the opportunity and showing Isagenix Business has some great verbiage too. I know that it's going to be even greater in the next year. I'm fired up about it. But giving them some simple verbiage to follow. A picture's worth 1,000 words. I took a picture in a dress. I didn't have like any weight loss. I talked about my non-scale victories. I was sleeping better. I felt alive again. I felt like I swallowed a rainbow, and people were like, what does that mean? And I said, I lost my sparkle along the way. Having 4 babies, a lot of hardships along the way, and man, people could really resonate. And we do real life. We're real people. We have ups and downs just like everybody else. And I've always written my Facebook like a blog. So you'll hear some people that'll be like, oh my gosh, don't write too much. And some people will say, don't really use hashtags on Facebook. I want to encourage you, do you, and be positive and do real.
Hey, Jeremy, I don't think you ever lost your sparkle.
No, I always have my sparkle. I think, Tanya, the question before, about 8 months ago, we remodeled our house, so we couldn't have in-home parties. But prior to that, we kind of set the standard with the team that we were going to do it once a month, and no matter what, rain, shine, whatever, we had one. And we built to those events. And what that did was that duplicated throughout the team. And so now that we're back in, and we've decided to do it twice a month. So 2 weeks ago, we had one, and we had a couple people enroll. She came last night, and she brought 2 friends. So we told her 2 weeks ago, we're going to do this again in 2 weeks. When you're feeling good, start talking to your friends and bring them. You're going to have this safe environment. You're going to have all these other people around you to tell stories. She's going to be able to relate to somebody. Last night, we had a group of gals, about 4 or 5 of them. One of them enrolled. And as she's walking out the door, she said, I'll see you in 2 weeks with my people. So we'd already set that intention up front that there was going to be another one. And the team is starting to get back into it. You can do them, on Zoom if your team's not local. We do them local, and we have a great turnout. But we do it on Zoom too, and you get 50, 60 people on a Zoom. But the biggest thing is consistency, and we always have one out there.
And I think when people see that, there's energy is contagious, and when people see that there's other people doing it, that's why if you're in a town, guys, or if you can get other people on your call, no one wants to show up to a party and there's only a couple of people there because you're like, where's the excitement? So enroll people into the excitement, enroll them into the culture. And then when they see, hey, there's a lot of people that are doing this, it adds to that excitement. And I'm going to use that to kind of transition into, you mentioned isagenixbusiness.com. What type of things can you send or tell the new person that is just an associate and you want to help them co-create a consultant or make them a consultant themselves? What do you like about isagenixbusiness.com or other tools maybe in general?
I love that because I ask them, a lot of times that people are like, listen, I need to do this. This is really an epic opportunity. I'll ask them, how much do you need to earn per week? I need you to give me a dollar figure. They'll give me, if they said $1,000 a week, for example, I'm going to break that out into cycles. I'm going to explain what a cycle is, how you achieve a cycle, and I'm going to explain these epic bonuses along the way, that there's $10,500 on the table today. And with customer first, it's awesome because it happens as soon as they put their social in the back. I ask them, how much time are you willing to really invest in this? Because, people go to college. This was an aha moment for me, for 4 years to be a master at something. 4 years. And, for doctors and surgeons, they go even longer. But yet people start network marketing and they're like, I'm going to start today and I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. And that's just not the way it happens. You gotta forge through. Our workbooks and all of that information you can find on isagenixbusiness.com. So I'll tell them your homework is to go to start here. It is to make your list. And we vision cast that when we're sitting down and helping get someone started. Who do you know? Who do you know who struggles? Who do you know who can't sleep? Who do you know who has kids? Who do you know that maybe doesn't have a retirement like they should? I also say go to the Google bar. The Google bar is phenomenal. You can find all sorts of information there, and you type in Isagenix Fast Facts. Be strategic, intentional, and on purpose, and put those in flashcards with the product on the front, the 5 facts on the back, and how intentional and on purpose do you want to be. I also tell them go to isagenixmovie.com. watch every single movie, and I want you to write down 10 to 20 people that you know that match that movie. So that next time you have someone who wants to lose 100 pounds, you know that there's a movie in there that totally can help them lose that 100 pounds. Really helping have that mindset up front. It's roll up your sleeves and get to work. It's not, let me go talk to 2 or 3 people, fire them up, and then you're like, wait a second, I'm not earning, that $1,000 a week. So having those real conversations with them and asking, how much time can you devote to this right now? And I remember Betsy Frame and Jill Bowman calling me like, who do you know that lives global and all this? I was like, listen, ladies, I have 4 kids. I am busier than I've ever been. I'm going to share this in the pockets of my life. And I didn't know what I didn't know. And so the biggest piece of advice is people do not know what they do not know. And here we are, we're fired up, excited about it. And it's like, we're sending them a fire hose of information and they're like, whoa. So those 3 things, isagenixbusiness.com, start here, Isa movie, watch every movie, write as many people down, I say 10 to 20, I cast big. And then the 5 pillars of health or the Isagenix product fast facts. One other thing too, a lot of people are like, we're on this product page and we have no idea what to post. I'm like, do you know you can use Facebook? The Facebook search bar, like a Google bar. So if you type in Isagenix greens, you're gonna find so many awesome off the wall posts. And you don't have to be the co-creator of that post, but you can take what you need, just like in leadership in Isagenix or anywhere else. You take what you need and you leave the rest. You do you. So take a post, tweak it for you, and post it out there, and bam, now you have it.
Yeah, so many good nuggets, and I as we evolve this conversation, I see some questions here that I'm going to have from the panelists that are asking, because they're asking some really good questions. Because one of the first ones before it goes too far up is, how do you know how often to follow up? Because we always get the one that says, maybe I'm not ready right now, and you don't want to bug them, you don't want to keep pushing. But you want, every once in a while, you want to nudge them. So how often is a good time to follow up?
I love adding every single person into Isagenix, our Isagenix Facebook team page. And I tell them, listen, sit on the wall, be a fly on the wall. We're here to meet you when you're ready. We have people who've been a part. In fact, I just did our senior pictures with a gal who's on our team. How much, Phoebe, is she sitting on?
6.1 million.
6.1 million since we started. And I said to her, you know you're crazy, right? We're going to love you right where you are, but what are you doing? I know you know people, and I know this has made an epic impact. So I forward vision cast that out. I'll put them into the business page, and I do little touches. Hey, we're having a sip and savor. Would you like to bring your friends and family? Just those little tiny touches, points. Every time you can reach out and go touch, touch. We also have a team newsletter that we send out, touch points, how to use products, fun recipes, how to do it. Anytime you have the opportunity to do that touch point, it's a fantastic way to just remind them, hey, we're here. I also like to be intentional on purpose and do an Excel spreadsheet of everybody that we've enrolled. And I will send out and say, hey, man, how you doing? Continually caring more about other people, being a doer and not about yourself and your ultimate outcome. You guys, success comes. It's about living in gratitude and loving on them, but being intentional about connecting always.
I think the big thing is, as you're following up with them on the products, once you get someone started in the beginning and you're calling them on day 4 to see how they're feeling, you're walking them through their first cleanse day, you're calling them on day 14 to see how they're feeling. I always bring up when I'm making those follow-up calls, how are you feeling? What are people saying? You know, how's your attitude at work? How's everything going? What are your friends saying? Because that just brings up that whole conversation again about the business side or the financial side of Isagenix also, and the auto ship, and what are your goals over 30 and 60 days, 60 to 90 days. And every time I'm following up with them and touching base with them, I bring up that side of it also.
Serving people well, making sure they have a great experience on the products the first 30 days as well.
You know, let's be honest. They share is more about the financial side of financial opportunity than, you know, and I think it's very important to hear 2 sides to this. There's 2 questions to this. The first part I'm going to ask Jeremy, because I know his story. There's a lot of people out there who are already financially successful, and people are automatically checking them off in their head saying they wouldn't be interested in this because they're already financially successful. Or the husband who isn't totally enrolled, but Jeremy has a great story for that side. And then the flip side is, and you can address this. And the second part is people who say, well, I don't have that financial story yet, so I feel odd sharing how it's a financial game changer if it's not my story. So if those two ones you can kind of attack.
I think the business side, just like the product side, borrow our belief, borrow our story. We will share. We have a teacher in Texas, and she is, last month she was in the director's pool, and we got a call from her after we kind of went through her numbers and the deposit was made. She's like, I've been a teacher for 23 years, serving the youth, teaching the youth. And between my residual income and what I earned in the bonus pool, I earned more with my Isogenics business than I did with my 23-year career. We borrow stories like that all day long for people to relate to. So, and for me, I wasn't sold that this was a true business model. I had to go to Phoenix ICU, get my butt in a seat. I heard Chris Harder speak about how Lori was getting phone calls and people were thanking her, and he was in banking just like I was. And during the recession, no one was calling me and thanking me. They were calling me and yelling at me. You know, they were losing their businesses, their second home, and it just made a huge impact to hear him say that. I'm like, you know what? If he can believe in this, he comes from the same background. I really need to take a deeper look at this. And then the next gentleman on stage happened to be Jim Coover, who wrote our amazing compensation plan. And that sold it for me. I walked out of that event and I started spending more time in our back office than I did with my job. And I felt so bad. I told my boss, I go, you know, my wife's killing it and you're probably going to have to find someone to replace me. And he goes, well, when are you leaving? I go, I don't know, but start looking. If you find someone, then I'll go. Well, it still took me about 6 months to make that phone call, and he hung up on me. And he called me back. He goes, you threw me off. And I go, I've been telling you for 6 months I'm leaving. You know, and you have two options. You can match what she's making and I'll stay. And he said, well, what's that? And I gave him the number. He goes, oh, well, you know, I can't do that. And I said, well, then your second option is accept my 2-week notice and we'll part ways and still be friends. And came on board and doing this full time since.
I love the way you use that, another verbiage, business model. You know, when you speak of it, because Jeremy's got a business background. So when you speak of it as a business model, it's very important to know that the product came first and they chose this business model. There's a lot of other network marketing companies out there that choose the network marketing business model and then they ask themselves, well, what are we going to sell? But this is very important, the area and the fact that you and Chris Harder, people in banking, people who know numbers, know that the business model is one that is very, very lucrative and very legitimate.
I want so many people on here and just in general in Isogenics to feel so empowered because it's the permission that they have from hearing stories just like this. That Jeremy, you didn't have to reinvent yourself. You brought your skill set to the table in the business model of network marketing, in banking, in numbers, and your ability to create relationships and gain someone's trust because you had to deal with their money. You know, that's serious stuff, guys. So whatever you're doing, whether you're a teacher or an eyelash artist, what you did, Tanya, like you were in people's face, it's like personal training. You were up in their grill and they're telling you their life story. You guys, every single one of you watching, this is so critical in what Tanya says about do you. Yes, do you. Please do not try to copy and paste what we're all saying here. There is something unique and beautiful and valuable that you all bring to the table. And all you have to do is cross-pollinate every single one of those skills that you had in all of the careers prior, whether it was a grocery store clerk, a nurse, a flight attendant, an accountant, medical device sales, corporate executives, doesn't matter. You did something there that actually works really well in network marketing. Figure it out and then turn the volume up on that strength and just match it to a model that's so easy and duplicable, which goes to this question here, like empowering your associates. How do you empower your associates? Not just you creating consultants, but how do you empower your associates to co-create those consultants and without doing the work for them, without enabling the process, but empowering the process?
We believe in never giving away a personally enrolled. That's how we coach. And it's really important to us to really empower them, support them in their journey, Again, whether it's us hosting on a regular basis health and wellness events, we commit to once a month going to the corporate tour and telling the teams, come and want to edify who you are, and really giving leadership opportunities. So our fast track to executive that my beautiful sister Trudy Maples and I co-created together was simply, everybody was like, what's the secret? The secret is literally stepping through that 90-day action plan, helping someone get set up for success right away, giving them the same tools that we had, and speaking that success over them. So many of us don't really understand the power of our words. I believe so much in forward speaking to someone, their success before it has happened. I remember telling Jeremy on day 4 when I slept through the night, he's like, please don't tell our friends and family. And I said, Jeremy, that would be such a disservice. And I looked over my shoulder that day and I forward spoke, I will be an Isagenix millionaire. And I'm not ashamed to say it because I had prayed for something in my life to be able to have and use as a vehicle. And so I forward speak that over our team members and say, you know what is it? And giving them hard numbers, and Jeremy's brilliant at this, and also being able to break that down into, okay, that's this many cycles. I tell them to take, Betsy Frame did this for me, and God bless her heart. I love pink, so she's like, girlfriend, get out some hot pink sticky notes. So this is how we coach. She's like, what does it look like? I'm like, we're at 60 cycles, and I really want to be at 100. I want to have, I want to help co-create another 3 crystal executives. I want to help them get there. And she's like, write it down, baby. Put it in your underwear drawer. You see it every day. Put it on your mirror. Put it on your speedometer. Put it where you do dishes. And so really giving these micro sound bites. Your mind works in chunks, and our unconscious mind needs a target. So if you are seeing that target everywhere you go, it's like inevitable. It's going to happen. And how many times have you forward spoke? I forward spoke so many different things in this business. It's crazy. And then continuing to show up. If you're wanting to be a leader, I sit down with people and I'm like, what kind of leader do you want? Give me 10 bullet points of the leader that you want. And people, a lot of them can't give it to you. And I'm like, listen, I want you to pray over it. I want you to chew on it. You talk to your husband about it, or your spouse or significant other. And they'll come back with that top 10. And I'm like, great, paste that on your computer and be that. Because you are not going to have that and attract that until you be that. And it's just such congruency that gives you that catalyst, that friction, and you start to have that kinetic energy where you're attracting other people in that get it. Our marriage is stronger. Isagenix is so much more than shakes and cleanse. We've had so many people say, oh my goodness, we just love that you guys love each other so much. And we've had some hard conversations and some hard roads. So paying that forward and telling our team when they're there and they have that friction happening in their marriage or their build, we're like, man, we've been there. It is not all like amazing. Sometimes you have to have the hard conversations, and that's how we empower people. Are you your top 10 list? And if you're not, where do you need to show up a little more?
I think the biggest thing is not being afraid to talk about the comp plan. And when you're helping someone become a consultant, start vision casting and forward speak, like Tanya said. Now, when you find those friends, you're going to help them do the same thing. You're going to help them get their premium groceries paid for. You're going to bring them into the fold and show them this. Bring them to the sip and savor. Let them get one of the best things we have at Isagenix is the culture. Get people into the culture and they'll go nowhere, because by far we have the best people in this industry a part of Isagenix. So get people to events and let them feel what this culture is all about. And the rest of it should become just real easy from there, because everybody, you walk into a room and it's just, and I didn't like people when I started this because I was being yelled at all the time. So when I came into this, it was really hard for me to go down and, David, I've seen you 3 times in the last week, and a year ago I wouldn't have hugged you. Yeah. And so just get them involved in the culture, and it's just amazing.
What a powerful testimony, what you just said. Yeah. Like a year ago, he wouldn't have hugged you. You guys, do you realize how much more we are than shakes and cleanse? Like, people's lives are being radically changed, radically. And I even made a post today about that, like where we were just 4 years ago. And you think about when we started this, and you think about it too, and all of you think about it, like and this is part of the co-creating consultant, where would you be right now if Isagenix was not in your life? What did your life look like prior to Isagenix? And If you withhold that information, holy smokes, is that a painful place to live? Holy smokes. Think about the amount of people that you're holding up the line for by not sharing the experience that you've had. So if those of you on here are afraid to sell, or you have someone that's afraid to sell, or afraid to share, or afraid to open their mouth, ask them that question. Where would you be right now had I not shared Isagenix with you? And they'll give you their answer and say, okay, did you feel pressure when I shared this with you? What if I withheld that information? What if I never opened my mouth because I was afraid like you are right now? That's where you'd be, and you'd be still. So that's
huge.
Consultants.
Yep.
Remind them of how horrible they walked around in quiet desperation. Remind them that you were, Jeremy, you wouldn't have hugged us. Like,
he wouldn't, he didn't. I used to, when we did health and wellness events, I would have to call him off the other room. I'd be like, Jeremy.
I would go hide.
It was crazy. And when we help people get started, I tell them, I want you to journal. If you're not even a writer, you're not a journal, I want you to chicken scratch. Where are you today? Where's your sex life at? Where is your relationships at? Where are you at in your job? How are you parenting? We just talk about it. Like, how do you feel about yourself? If you had a thought that goes through your mind at least 25 times a day, what is it? Do you wish you could be in 3/4 of your closet that you're locked out of? Do you wish you felt sexy again? Do you want to wear a bikini? What is it? And it's so empowering for them to go back and look and understand how far they've come. And for those of you who are on the call tonight who are constantly talking about everything you're not, guess what you're going to hit? Like, I'm so passionate about that. Stop talking about everything you don't have and that you're not, and start talking about everything that you are and where you're going, and forward speak it. Take ownership of your future.
Tanya, let me ask you a question, because I see some, Tanya.
He does it all the time.
I love you, David.
Leave it to her to point it out. Hey, anyway, now that you embarrass me. So I'm monitoring the questions here, and you speak with such conviction, and people are talking about your posture. If I can borrow your conviction, if I can borrow your posture. People that said they get ready to do it and then they chicken out at the last minute. So I want you to give them a little bit of insight into your life prior to this, and how can they, not so to speak, borrow that, but how can they gain it? How did you weren't probably always this powerful and your posture wasn't strong. How did that happen?
I didn't understand how to get your body there, your posture there. I went in yesterday and I was supposed to be doing a video shoot in Isagenix. Something happened on the way in, and I just emotionally was not, it was like, wow. So I ended up in a little bit of tears. I'd again then get on the set, and I thought, how am I going to get myself there? I have about 6 years in women's ministry, and I knew when I took the stage in women's ministry, it wasn't for me. It was for a bigger calling on my life. It was for every single person that sat in that audience. And I struggle, you guys. I have the negative committee in my head. I need you to hear me say that. I have bad days. I have bad moments, and I have to remind myself continually of who I am, who's in my life, why I do what I do, what drives me. I have to remember that. I watched a really powerful video by Amy Cuddy that if you can't get your mental mindset and get into that posture, you can stand in such a way that you can get into posture and change the whole physicality of your body. So we had this beautiful team member who I absolutely love. I thank God for Isagenix, for the people that we have in our life. I mean, like, it just makes me emotional. I connected with her. We met at a team tour at corporate, and I looked down. She had freaking leopard boots on, and I was like, I love your guts. You have such class and such style. She's in her 50s. I just fell in love with her, and she's like, Tanya, I've never told my story in front of this many people. We were in our dining room, and I was like, listen, sister, you get in the power pose right now. Spread your legs and be solid in your foundation, and put your hands on your hips, and you look right at me, because I'm going to speak some truth into you. You are here for this moment. You are made for this moment, and your story is going to change someone's life. It is not about you right now. It is about everybody that's sitting in that room and what you're going to forward speak over them and the opportunity. And she's so precious. She brought a 50-pound bag of dog food and had Jeremy get it out of her car. He's like holding it all sweet for her. And she picks up that dog food and she's like, this is what I drug around. And I was carrying 50 extra pounds. I will never forget it. I will never forget that moment. She stood in her power. So when I say for you to borrow it, I mean, borrow the opportunity to stand in your power. You practice it. Whatever is a power pose for you, and find the Amy Cuddy video on YouTube. It changed my life. I teach people that. I pay it forward. We had a team member who hurt his wife drugged to an event, one of our training events. He said, tell Tanya, I went home that night. I practiced my power pose. I practiced being in state. Get in state. And he said, I got the job. I did an interview. I got the job. You tell her I love her. Thank you so much. So whether he was a believer in isogenics or not, we were able to make a shift in his life and teach him what it means to be in state. It's Amy Cuddy. I believe it's Cuddy.
Yeah, they were posting it here. They actually posted the link in the comments. So
Thank you.
And yeah, your posture is something that you can learn. And I think you hit on it. Your confidence in your posture. And again, that's something that we reiterate from Kathy last week. Confidence, it has a sound, it has a feeling, and you work on that, you gain it. And if you don't feel comfortable speaking, practice, and you'll get better. We have a few more minutes. I have two really good questions. The one was always, this is one that gets me still. What do you say when people say, what do you do? I don't know if this is as much about they share, but it's a great question. So when people say, hey, Jeremy, Tanya, what do you do? What do you say? How do you word it? What's the verbiage there?
Would you tell others to say?
You know what? I've probably used several different things. I've said, do you see the big building on Gilbert and 202, especially if I'm meeting somebody out and about? We've partnered with Isogenics. It's a health and wellness company. I've told them that we're a direct selling company. I've just been straightforward with them. I don't think I have one answer. It just kind of depends on the situation and where I'm at.
I teach people how to live their life that they've dreamed of. I am a freedom hope dealer. I am passionate about being a referral marketer. I love what I do. You should do it too. And that just opens the question, and people are like, what do you do? And I'm like, I fire people up for a living. I connect for a living. I'm a living, walking, talking legacy for our kids. I've got a 21-year-old that is absolutely on fire right now, and she is making me up my game. I've got a 17-year-old who will be 18 in July, and that girl is like, Mom, can we order some business cards? I'm like, let's go. And I want to be able to show them, go to school, get your degree, and let me show you how to mix this in and live a life that you don't have to worry about checking in and clocking out.
Yeah, nice. I love it.
And for all of you that are watching this, the reason why Jeremy says it the way he does and Tanya says it the way he does and the way that we say what we do is because we really believe it, okay? So you can take what you hear here because it sounds good to you right now, but you have to believe the crap out of what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Like that is the common denominator from Kathy's call to this call to Delray's live on the Encore on Sunday. It is 100% conviction, baby. And if you're not convicted and believe wholeheartedly what you're saying, they're not going to either. If you're trepidous in your posture, if you're trepidous in what you say you do, and you're like, whey protein, sorry, that's happened to us before. We were like, we do whey protein.
It happened to me. It didn't happen to us. It's okay.
Here's the best part about it, though, for all of you that are listening. This just happened recently. We ran into an old friend from Tampa that now lives here, and he said, hey, man, what are you doing? What have you been up to these days? Like, what are you guys doing now? He goes, whey protein. So you don't get so good that you don't trip up every once in a while. We're human. We get caught off guard. We second guess ourselves, right? You got the committee in your head. You talked about it. It's there. It doesn't just go away. It just means that you exercise courage a little bit longer than the average person. Yeah. So you got to feel the fear and do it anyway. 3, 2, 1, open your mouth. Just count down backwards and go. You got to be brave enough in that moment. But yes, conviction, conviction. It is conviction all day. It's not my job. We said it last week. It's not my job to convince you.
Mm-hmm.
It's my job to be convicted in my beliefs and be so convicted that everyone's like, whoa, I don't know where she's going, but like the lead car, I have to go by default too.
So this is, we're wrapping up here. I'm going to give you this one last amazing question. And there's a lot of parts to it, or two really. But what we're trying to do is have the biggest summer in the history of the company. So this is action, guys. This is, you're here, you're listening, but it takes action because we are all on the same team. And the better we do, the better you do, the better the company does, and the more people that hear about it, the more people that hear about Isogenics. So this is about they share. So it's about duplication. But then I want you guys to talk about the big summer coming up. And then I want you to talk about they share in terms of not only your 1 PET, but 2 and 3 and 4, and how that trickle down effect, that ripple effect starts to permeate through your downline and then builds volume for everybody. So if everybody is doing they share at the same time, we all benefit.
This part fires me up. This is a part of the compensation
I
plan.
knew it. I'm like, Jeremy open his mouth right now.
When I get into this and I can sit down with our team and teach the pools and get them in the director's pool and up to the executive pools. And that's the best thing in the world when you can make that phone call or you get that phone call and they're like, you have no idea the phone call I just received from corporate, and Kathy Cougar called me or Travis called me. And recognition is huge when that happens. You've got to put that in the page, because if you see Jeremy and Tanya do it all the time, or Angelique and David, that's one thing. But when people that are what you consider at your level, or they started at the same time you did, and you're seeing them do it, that just fires people up. And I'd love to sit down and teach the pools. For 24 years, and I was in equipment finance, and always had a comp plan that changed every year. And I always sat down and read that thing from front to back, so I understood exactly every way that I was going to get paid. And I believe that that's the same way with this comp plan. You've got to understand the comp plan. Now, you're not going to get it on day one. Poor Betsy Frame had to sit down with me several times, and I felt so bad by the end. I'm like, my gosh, I love numbers. This is what I do, but I feel so stupid. I don't get this. How? And once it clicked, I'd love to sit down with our team and just watch that just flow through, 4, 8, 9, 10 PET all the way down, and just watch people get fired up when they get that phone call.
We never have a slow time. If you believe that summer is going to be fired up, it's going to be fired up. If you take every opportunity and you are armed with information, you are armed and ready to be that private investigator, no matter what conversation is going on around you, you commit to hosting you yourself. You don't wait for someone else to do it. You commit to hosting a health and wellness event. You commit to doing a spa party, letting the kids maybe swim, and having little Rejuvenity sample kits out with a little whitewash cloth and a sprig of lavender. You make it super fun. You serve Isogenics coffee. You love on that. We are event driven. You set specific strategic goals for yourself, and you help your team do the exact same. You look at this and say, how can we come together and really ignite? And you guys, it's not always about having those health and wellness events too. It's take your team on a hike and connect. Pour greatness into them. Recognition is a driving factor in this. I was reminded by it yesterday. We have people who get to 2-star, and then they might have like this window where they're like, okay, who are we? Where are we going? Who are we as leaders? And really connecting and making sure that you're recognizing everything that's taking place. We are a recognition-driven company. We never ask anyone to do something we're not willing to do. I believe that you lead from the front and you circle back around often to make sure people haven't gone astray, and you push and lead from the back as well. It's ever evolving. You're continually moving and you're doing.
So here's a little view into Tanya. And I believe going into the summer, set your intention now. So we sat down as a family and decided we're going to take a great family vacation. We're going to take the kids because we put in a lot of work. And so we're like, we're gonna reward you guys, and we're gonna go. And so we booked a vacation. We're gonna be gone for 2 to 3 weeks. And Tanya said, I'm going, and I'm gonna connect while we're on vacation. It's a working vacation. We're gonna be there with the kids. We're gonna do all the fun stuff. She's gonna attend a bar class. We're gonna find a gym there. But she set the intention ahead of time. Just because it's summer, we're not stopping what we do every day.
We also called all the team members that are around everywhere we're going on vacation, and we said, listen, we want to be a part of hosting events. So you tell us when and you tell us there, and we're going to be there, and we're going to fire up, and we're going to edify you, love on your friends and family, and like rock out the house.
So we've enrolled the kids in it and let them know, but I mean, it's a vacation. There's going to be some fun, but we're willing to go in and put in the work too, because we want this summer to be huge.
Oh, it's going to be huge. June boom, baby.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, you guys, look, I got my whole page worth of notes here. And I want to say, look, if you're trying to enroll people in the business side of this, remember that there's an equal opportunity for everybody, regardless of what age, gender, sex, race, country you come from. The opportunity is there. And what other business can you say at the beginning of the year, this is how much I want to make, and then go out and get it? Every other business that I know of, they tell you, this is what we're hiring at, this is what you're worth. This is the only one I know where you can set that number and you can make it whatever you want, and the opportunity is the same to go out and get it. So let's make June and July the best summer ever. Thank you so much. It's they share. It's they share. So it's duplication at its finest. It's posture. It's forward speaking. That was what I got, forward speaking. Act as if it already exists.
If you were going to give all these people homework to co-create as many consultants as possible and start this week between now and next Thursday and just keep going through this 8-week training, what would you tell them their homework should be?
I would say treat every day as a gift. I would say time block, because time blocking is key. I would say set the intention. My goal to this day is helping 2 people open Freedom Hostel accounts every single week and doing the IPAs to get there. I would also encourage them to host their own event. I would encourage them to show up and do maybe a book me June incentive where they tell all their team, listen, book me and I'm coming for you. And I want you guys to understand this is my time. It's my time for my family. So I'm coming to help support you. Have some maybe fun incentives for their team for the month of June and July going on, doing a book me challenge. Take out that 90-day action plan and dust it off, baby, because the summer is go time. Do you imagine if you're out on vacation and you're meeting people from all over the world? We were intentional and on purpose, went out to connect the other day. I met a gym owner who owns not 1, not 2, but 3 gyms in Canada. You bet your booty I was excited that I went out with the intention to connect and really cast that vision. And you guys go out on a progressive dinner. Go somewhere for an appetizer and practice connecting with your team. Take like 10 of you, the pockets of 10 of you out. Then go and have dinner. Pockets of 10 of you, practice connecting with your wait staff, with whoever is helping you, no matter where you're at. If you're gonna, Jill Bowman's perfect at this. She goes to the mall and intentionally connects, and then go somewhere for dessert. It's so awesome to fail forward. I push people out of their comfort zones like no one's business. I'm like, come on. And it doesn't mean that I'm not sitting there totally like freaking out with them, because I still get nervous. So really just getting out of your comfort zone and inviting other people to get out of their comfort zone. We went and did a hike the other day, and I took extra e-shots. I was popping e-shots to everybody on the mountain with my ginormous 3x5 card that they couldn't just chuck, right? They got to stick it in somewhere, fold it up, stick it in their bra, shot the e-shot down, and I was seeing people like, that stuff is awesome. I'm like, I know. So how bad do you want it, and what are you willing to do, and how are you going to arm yourself when you leave your house with the empowerment of handing out different things to really meet the needs of people? Be fired up and be so contagious, because it works.
You're awesome. Thank you.
You're
guys
awesome.
so much.
You guys, we love you so much, and we're so honored to be on this. Thank you for us. Thank you for asking. We had so much fun getting ready.
Put my glasses back on. I'm going to do a screenshot of you. You guys
Okay, let's do it. Thanks, Bailey, for giving us our
rock and roll
gear.
or something. Ready?
The fingers, yeah.
Got it.
That was awesome. I love it. Thank you guys so much from the bottom of our hearts. Again, for all of you here, our vision is to co-create more consultants and more crystal executives than this company has ever seen in the summer and by the reset. So we really prayed about this and saw leaders multiplying company-wide, and we sat down and made our A list on who we would want to train across line, not in our up and down line, but across line, because of the one team that we all love so much. So thank you for being a part of this, and thank you for saying yes immediately. Thank you for bringing everything to the table for all these hungry souls.
And look for the recording on the page.
Thank you for having us on. We love everybody. Good luck to everybody. Let's hear about all the consultants that are created in between now and next Thursday.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much.
June boom, baby.
Boom. Rock and roll.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Good night.
Girls. In Austin.
I will. Thank you. Give the kids kisses from us.